Hello there, everyone. Episode 8 of Oxyotl is here. So, we're gonna attack the Blooded X tribe. So basically, I could auto-resolve it, but I like to fight these battles, especially early on. It's always important. And it's always good to have you... to get a feel for your army. Like, I've devised the army composition, and now I do have to play with it to ensure that it works on specific conditions, and what is the weakness and what are not the weaknesses, you know, what are their strengths. So there's 4 Cygors here, and of course I'm going to be vulnerable to those, but they're still missiles, and I have a lot of missile resistance. Note that missile resistance always works against anything that is classified as missile, like enemy missile. Artillery, for instance, also works. Anything that is classified as missile, even in magic, it works. Even if you don't have any spell resistance, you will resist magic missiles like fireball, for instance. So that's why, yeah, huge chunks of rock being thrown in our general direction are, of course, a big problem. But sometimes they hit the enemy, so that's good. That makes it right. Just keep missing, guys. So these kinks almost look like blues. I feel like I'm playing Zinch all of a sudden. And yeah, let's hit some Ungar spears. And that's the thing, he doesn't have a lot of a good front line. Like, these Minotaurs will die very fast against Saurus, really. I'm gonna need some water later on after this battle. So overall, you can see that already his line is crumbling, and that's all because, I mean, I have Saurus units, I have a few skinks mixed in, yes, but for the most part, this is a Saurus army, and they're not going to get through that Saurus army very easily. It would take like almost all 4 Cygors hitting a Saurus unit to even make it halfway health. You know, they're very sturdy, very beefy units. It's kind of interesting that Lizardmen can play into this beefy style, but they can also play like the Skaven style of, you know, skirmishing, harass and such, and it's such a nice variation. It's rather unique. I don't think any other race can do it as well as a Lizardman, because you always have the power of the dinosaurs, of course, but I always love the infantry from Lizardmen. So, at this point, I'm already using my skirmishers to hit down on the Cygors. They have a lot of missile resistance, so it's not the best target for them. I think they have a lot of missile resistance. I hope I'm not saying something wrong. I could check in battle, but I'm afraid I didn't. So, past self didn't think that I would ask this question. I guess I was, you know, more certain of the skills. But still, Cygors really don't work well in melee. It's more like an artillery piece that can defend itself slightly, you know, but at the same time, the only thing that they do cause is a lot of control over enemy casters, because they have a lot of miscast, an aura that reduces the miscast or increases the miscast chance. So it's one of those situations where you're fighting Cygors and you forget that if you take a spellcaster, well, it's not gonna be nice. Did you see that boulder toss? The Cygor attacked my other unit there. And now that's a nice devolve. I actually positioned myself for the... And that's something that I've been watching. The AI is actually doing way better, especially on Legendary, on the casting of their spells. They are impactful now. They're putting them... Yes, sure, you have some wind spells like the pendulum that you should just turn away and do the, you know, the horizontal part of the line, but they're doing way better at vortexes, breath attacks. Look at that. That's a nice hit. That's exactly what you aim for. Maybe not the best target, but that's exactly how you should aim for it. So the AI is doing really well into this. You know, now that the battle is controlled, of course, after the line initially was crushed, you know, the early Minotaurs, the Saurus, all that they needed to do was approach the Cygors, and that would kill them. Oh man, I need to pause this to get some water, sorry. So yeah, that was a nice victory. And I can pursue them. I think I can auto-resolve the next. And I'll just merge these units. I really won't need too many of those skirmishes, to be honest. At least not here, you know. I likely will have to recruit some of these units in other places, but you know sometimes you can't just transport units, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's attack here out of this. Yes, no casualties. That's great. A little bit more losses than I would expect. One left with 9. Oh god. Okay, let's get more treasury. I really want all the goldies. And I want to go after this guy. I don't know if I should sue for peace, honestly. Because I really need to try and prevent a rebellion, or at least to be near my cities for a rebellion, you know? There we go. Yeah, I need a third guy. So, and I really want to be a skink because this one is going to be the secondary army that I really was aiming for. Let's get some Bastillodon solar engines and then rejuvenation crystals to give to Oxyotl later on. So, oh man, I really dislike how the map moves around these places. Like when you're clicking, you know, to skip the provinces and such. I'm gonna have to do something different so that it doesn't, you know, I'll click on the minimap or something like that. It's because it likely gives you headaches when watching. And this is difficult. Sometimes, like, I'm watching my own recording, by the way, and I'm recording the voice now. And sometimes when I watch it, I'm like, man, this gotta be annoying for some people. So you gotta learn to unlearn what I've learned in terms of skipping, because when you're playing it's fine, you know, but when you're watching is completely different. So I do hope I am mildly entertaining. I know I don't get a lot of views, but also let's plays are kind of not exactly what people really like to see nowadays. I just like doing them, and they're really fun. And then I can, for me, of course, and I'm playing the campaign, and for me, what I can do later on, and I always love to do, is to screenshot specific parts, like, hey, I use this army on this encounter, I use this against that quest, you know, and that helps to in specific situations. Okay, I'm getting some trade deals. Anything that shows up that I can get, I'll just ask always for some gold. I always prefer to do that. I know that, you know, it doesn't hurt, but yeah, I should have taken the peace deal right there. But still, I'm gonna have to betray them later on, because I cannot catch up to them unless I have a secondary army, and I'm not gonna have one for a long while. But still, what I was talking about is that, yeah, this constantly shifting and moving around the camera, I'm gonna work on that, okay? Because definitely the fact that the game does that, when I'm playing, it's fine. I know what is about to happen, but for you guys, it may be hindering, so apologies if that's the case. Now, back to the game. I have Kamotor. I'm gonna try to put him again. Oh, and this is an interesting one. Construction cost reduction over construction time increased, and that's 25%. 25% basically means over 4 turns you get a 5th turn, you know? And that's fine. 30% reduced costs on a time that I'm actually spending very little. I think that's going to be the best outcome. Even if I get like 2 turns extra, I wouldn't get the income in 2 turns that I'm going to be using for the building. So overall, I'm earning time and money as well. So that was an interesting decision. I was like, man, do I want to go for this or not? And suddenly the other thing is that I also have the right of ferocity to do. Do I want it? It costs 2,000. Yeah, and then suddenly I cannot recruit anything. But okay, I'm gonna betray the awakening. Maybe have someone who's at war with him. Bordelot only? Yeah, it's only Albrecht. Albrecht would have been a nice one to eat as well. I don't think there's anyone else at war, right? But there's Sotek. Let me see who offers me more money. Yeah, let's go Bordelot. I want to join your war against the Awakened. In exchange, you pay me 1,000. Or, where's the Lizardman? Oh, it's on top, right? I think so. L, yeah, L is not here. It's not the Lizardman, right? No, it isn't. Okay, so it's on top. Yeah, okay. I don't know how diplomacy works. See? I don't know. But okay. Join war against the Awakened, and he pays me. Well, he gives me a trade deal, which is much better overall in the long run. I really want to head Hawin to at least to head Hawin to Confederate, because he also focuses a lot on skinks, so that's something that I want to have. Like, I don't have a problem if Gorok or Krokar or even Mazda don't confederate, but I really want the Hen Huin, because he fits on the playstyle as well with Oxyotl. And whenever you're playing the Hen Huin, try to get Oxyotl as well, because he'll do really well with the skinks, even without his faction one. So how I'm deploying is just try to swarm over this place. It has a lot of towers, but I thought I can really go fast towards every single one. Just use the ladders up. Remember that you do have some vigor reduction with what currently I have. So I don't have too much trouble going into the walls. Right here, I just want them to be poisoned, and that's it. Yeah, he tried to use that army ability, but it wasn't really that effective, which I'm glad, you know, the cannons. Yeah, this animation of the poison is interesting, but I think it, at close, you know, it doesn't work exactly like one would like, you know? So everyone is going on the ladders, and I'm actually capturing the places, so the walls, so that's fine. It's such an interesting castle idea because it's all from ships, you know. Just so nice to see. It's all dry dock basically things. It reminds me of Curse of Monkey Island, you know, the game where they are in the docks and everyone just has their own place, their own ship, and you gotta, you know, meet up with the other captains and such. It's really nice. Wonderful game, actually. Especially Monkey Island 2, for instance, was my favorite when I was growing up. Oh well, reminiscing too much. Yeah, basically I'm getting at the walls and trying to shoot towards the front, towards the battle line, and he's just notice how the AI actually completely withdraw from the walls, but at this case I actually agree with him because he has a lot more missile power than melee power. So yep, let's skip a little bit ahead. You know, for the most part, the summons are doing the most damage, and the Troglodon and units that got into the city already. And I'm sending in these Chameleon Stalkers. They're doing just some nice damage against those Zombie Pirate Gunnery Bomb with cannons, with hand cannons. Who looks super cool, by the way. Yeah, Troglodon is doing just fine. It's just so nice to hear the sounds. If you don't do this, if you don't do the replay, you know, save the replay and then play the replay, just try it once, because you're gonna watch it so well. It's good to learn as well, and it's nice with a cup of coffee, you know, just put on the replay, and that's super cool. I don't mind, actually, you know, people who think, oh, but it's you're fighting a battle twice. It's actually, you're fighting the battle once where you just micro everything properly, and then you're gonna watch things thoroughly, what happened, who killed what, and how it did it work. And that's where you're gonna see whether or not a unit is doing something out for you. So I skipped a little bit ahead. Most of it was just mopping up. And as soon as the Bastiladons approach, they just yell and they fall to the ground, and that's it. I wish that was the power. So I really don't know if I want to keep that Saurus, but maybe that's going to be necessary, so I'm going to keep it for now. Okay, let's go Epicentrist and then stand your ground. Yeah, okay. And about you, Life Bloom. Of course, that passive ability is always nice. No, I want Cleanse Corruption, otherwise I'm going to forget about it for next turns. And Deepwood Branch gives me Woodsman. That's not necessary for this guy. Might be good for this guy. I don't know. I just want to give something. Yeah, the Forest Cloak would be nice. Okay, I do have some... I do have some magic items here that I might as well just merge. Yeah, I think because I have some of these. Okay, so let's put on rarity and category, and now it's much easier. Yeah, I'm gonna join both of those and see what I can come up with, honestly. Or I'll wait just for another one, I don't know. Let me think. I really want to get the regeneration, but at the same time, I like just having a little bit of barrier. And then I'll go again on the red line. I think that will be better. Yeah, let's use the money here. All of those units are going to go for Oxyotl, which means that Oxyotl is going to have to come back. And you see, it takes 7 turns, but it costs 2,800 when it usually would be 4,000. So suddenly that's what we were able to do. And I'm still going to get construction cost benefits there. So yeah, let's travel with Oxyotl back. This immediately goes into the upkeep reduction. So I'm earning a little bit more money because this place has upkeep reduction, which is nice. And let me just merge the units next. Is still recruiting. I'm going to have... I think I'm going to recruit a lord there. Maybe another priest or another slan. Just because I really dislike how it goes. By the way, this guy rebelled and conquered that place. I just want some gold from there and fine. I really don't think I could manage this for a long time. I want southern locations. Like if I have one in Cathay, I'll take it. You know? But I don't really want northern locations where, you know, I won't be able to reach there very soon and it might just thwart my plans entirely, you know? So, yeah, I'm going to be able to have quite a nice set of armies. I'm thinking 3 armies early on I should be doing just fine. I'll likely get peace. I'm tired of chasing this guy. I'll just peace him out. And yeah. That'll be all on the next episode. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.